Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to Stitchy Bee. I'm Cheryl Temple. Well, I thought I'd pop on and show you a really fast summer make. You'd probably guess I had a little week away in Greece recently. I always go every year with my dad. And a couple of days before, the most amazing fabric arrived for the shop. I'll pop links in the description for you to everything I show you today. And I had to make something really quick for my holiday. Now, I did this last year. I wanted a really quick t-shirt dress, and I like to go to my trusted patterns that I've made before when that happens. And it had to be quick. I had an afternoon to make it. So of course, if you haven't guessed already, I've chosen the McCall's M6886. This is what I'm wearing. I'll give you a quick peek. So it's this amazing jersey and gold leaf fabric, and this is the pattern. I wanted something nice and short. I've also upsized this pattern to make it a little bit more comfortable and less bodycon. I'll show you a quick look at the one I made last year, which was the boat fabric. And you can see it's quite tight fitted, so I didn't want something that I had to breathe in all the time with for this holiday, especially in white as well. It shows up everything a bit more, doesn't it? So I'll share my thoughts on why I made this again. I've made a couple of these before. I've made an evening one in black quilted ponte, actually. That was a Christmas party one, and it's just such a versatile pattern. And I had another look at the packet because I've got a couple of these. One came free with Love Sewing magazine many months ago, and so I didn't have to trace it out. I just cut out the couple of sizes and styles that I wanted. It's easy when you've got two, isn't it? So let's look at the one I chose, and we'll get close up so you can see it a bit better. Now, on the front, obviously you get all the different styles. There's long sleeve, short sleeve, V-neck, round neck. And I didn't quite notice when I first looked at this that you could have a high round neck or a scooped round neck. And I thought for holiday, the scooped one's nicer, isn't it? I did the V-neck last year with the boat fabric, and you need a little bit longer to do the V-neck correct, unless you do them all the time. But for me, I'd like to take my time, and it does take a while. So I thought, let's do the quickest one. So I chose, it's a bit easier to see on the back. It's a bit bright for you, there you go. So I chose View C, there we go. And I chose the shorter sleeve to go with it. I didn't mess about with the pattern at all. I literally sewed it out of the packet. I upsized to a 16 because I usually sew the 14 in this one, but that was really quite large. I don't know if it was the fabric or me or what, but the difference between a 14 and 16 seemed quite a lot, so I ended up taking it in again. So I'm probably about a 14, 15. There is such a thing in between. So just play around with that. You can always go in anyway. Better to make it slightly larger than too tight. So yeah, I really liked that. And don't forget, with your neck band, always estimate it's about 75-80% of the neck space to make. That's the actual length of your neck band. So it's a big long strip, and that should be about 75-80% of the total area of here. So just get your flexible tape measure around the gap where your neckband's going, and then make the strip for the neckband 75-80% of it. This is not perfect. I've got a little bit of a wrinkling here. That's because I was rushing it on the last day. So if I was doing it again, I'd probably make it a bit tighter, and I'd make the seam allowance a little bit deeper. I think I sewed a bit less than you're supposed to. So if you've got a deeper neckband, it will show up your flaws more, won't it? Because it's more likely to wrinkle like a petal, rather than be a bit more snug. But it's fine for this, isn't it? Finish wise, I've finished with a nice little zigzag. It's a bit bright. Sorry, I'm glaring you, aren't I, on this fabric? But I just turned it up and zigzagged the hem which just adds a little bit of interest, doesn't it? And I did the same around the neckband here. It's tempting to just leave it if you've got in your neckband and it's perfect, but I do like to hold down the edge, and I overlocked that as well to keep it nice and neat. So yeah, a really quick make, this one. So many different options. I'll go through the fabric now, which would work really well for this type of dress. This is a 95% cotton jersey, 5% spandex. I reckon it's the perfect fabric to make this in. As I say, I've already made the Pontoroma one. I found that a bit hot, so in winter it would be great. And anything with a good amount of stretch. If you've got a fabric that's a little bit stiff, just size up slightly or make your seam allowances a little bit less, just to give yourself a bit of room. But yeah, you do need that stretch to get it on, off and on, especially if you make the high neckline, so you've got less movement for your head. So yeah, let's go and look at the fabric. We'll transport ourselves over to the office and I'll show you some lovely ones that would work well in this dress. See you in a minute. I can't help myself. I should present children's telly or something. Anyway, here we are. Back at Stitchy Bee HQ. So the first one I'm going to show you is what I'm wearing. So this is I've called this the Tropez jersey because it reminds me of the kind of fabrics the ladies might wear wandering around the harbour in the south of France next to the yachts. It is that kind of, it's a bit bling, but it's quite different, isn't it? So these little feathers are made of, they're of shiny rose gold. You can see it just, I'll not glare you by putting it too close to the camera because it's tricky white, isn't it? So yeah, if you've got any rose gold jewellery or anything favourite to wear like that, it will really look beautiful, and you could even match your sandals if you want to go all out matchy. And it's been a lovely fabric to work with this. This is quite an expensive fabric for me to buy as well, because it's so, I only ever buy white jerseys, because some of the cheaper ones are a little bit off-white, aren't they? And it's fine if it's meant to be cream, of course, but this, I like a white to be properly white, and they last a bit longer. So forgive the cost on this one, but I've only got a small amount in anyway. But have a look and see what you think. It would make a fab t-shirt as well if you think a dress is too much. Next, I had to do it eventually, didn't I? I've got some bee print fabric in. I know it's a bit twee because I'm Stitchy Bee, but some of them I'm not a fan of, but this one is gorgeous. It's a jersey again, 95% cotton, 5% spandex. It's from a really good supplier, this one, super quality. And this is a navy. It looks quite dark, doesn't it, on camera? And it's got a beautiful stretch, and you can see the little bee print close up. That's really beautiful. I think I'll make this in that for next year as well. It's just really nice fabric to have. So it's a little bit quirky, but not too out there, is it? So that would work well in this. And there are, obviously it's not just about this pattern, there are loads of t-shirt dresses out there. I know the Inari tea dress is on my list, on my radar of things to look at. That's slightly looser fitting from what I can see online. So if you're not into something so form-fitted, the Inari tea dress might help. Have a look and see the versions out there. So yeah, this would work for anything like that. It would also work for a sweatshirt pattern as well. So something like the Linden, where it's nice and loose, and it would take a sweatshirt pattern, this, because it's a good weight. It's still drapey, but it's thick enough to turn into a sweatshirt too, or a hoodie even. I've still got plenty of this gorgeous leopard print jersey as well. And this is, every time I send this with some black jersey, I think, how clever. Because what I'd do with this, because it's a bit much, isn't it, for a dress? I mean, that might be your thing, but for me, I'd make the body in the leopard print jersey, and then I'd have plain black sleeves and a plain black neckband. And that would give it just a nicer detail. I think it makes it look more expensive as well, Just adds those little touches. And you could use up your scraps, couldn't you, on your sleeves? So still got plenty of this in. But yeah, another 95% cotton jersey. I'll pop links to all these fabrics in the description box below. If you're scrolling on a mobile phone, you tend to have to go right down to the bottom to find them. I know some people can't find them, so you just keep scrolling underneath the other video ads and you'll find them there. Another fabric I was tempted to make this dress in was this gorgeous anchor jersey with the sparkles on. I've still got some of this in, but this works quite well when because I went on loads of boat trips, and I know it's a bit twee matching nautical to your boating holidays, but I think it's quite nice. And I didn't choose this because it was darker and I wanted something bright, but I loved the little silvery motif, the anchor motif on this. It really makes it a little bit different. And again, this would work well in a t-shirt too. Same composition, 95% cotton, so it's nice and cool, but it still springs back into shape. If you work with 100% cotton jersey, that's great, but it's got less recovery. So just bear that in mind, depending on what you're making. Another cotton jersey that this would work well in is this lovely grey, unusual colour kite print, and this would make a fab t-shirt or a fab long sleeve version as well. Finally, if you're sewing towards autumn, I'm never quite sure when you guys actually plan for your sewing, because I know lots of people are still advertising summer fabrics. I'm kind of looking forward now to thinking about sewing for when the weather changes, so if that's you, then this is really cute. I've called this Llama Drama. Now there are a few llama prints out there at the moment. This one's a particularly nice one. It's grey with a little black llama and cactus prints on there. And this is another 95% cotton jersey. It's the same supplier as this one. It's a really high quality, made in Europe. All these are 150 wide or thereabouts, 145, 150 wide. So you can get plenty of pattern pieces out of that. I think the pattern envelopes suggest it's 1.6 meters for this. If you're making a contrast collar and sleeve, then you can use less fabric. So just kind of work it out. You can get your front and back piece out if you fold your fabric to the center on a 150 wide fabric, and then you could have the front piece on the fold and the back piece on the fold in a really short amount of fabric. So there's another tip for you. But yeah, usually it's the neckband piece that pushes it over the requirement for you. So if you think about doing that in a different colour, you'll save money as well if you don't want to order so much. Well, I hope that helps. That's come to the end of my little quick summer make. Forgive me for making another pattern again, but I like my faves. I haven't forgotten about the kitty. I am in the middle of making my Sew Over It kitty dress. It feels like there are 1,000 pieces to it, which is why I've not reviewed it in this video yet. I'm nearly there. I'm enjoying it. I've had to slow down and take a bit of a longer term approach to making it. But I'm loving it so far, and I will bring that to you next time. Hopefully next week. It's all laid out on my table in front of me. I'll not spoil it and tell you which fabric I've chosen for it, but it's one of my favourites. So hopefully, if that all works out and I don't mess it up, I'll see you with that next time. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the followers I've gained. I think I'm nearly at 10,000 now. I never pay too much attention to the numbers because I just talk to you as if you're one person, so it matters not. But it's really kind of you all to follow me, so thank you so much. Anyway, I'll see you next time. You take care. Bye for now.